Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Reborn as a snake. 10,000 times acceleration, turning into a dragon. Chapter 106. How to say. Wei Shuzun looked at the sluggish city god and spoke. It's rare to see such an astonished expression on the face of Yipan judicial justice. Wei Yan suddenly found it a little funny. City god remained silent. Instead, I remembered that a few days ago, I ordered the Yin law judge to check the life and death spectrum. It is a matter of trying to take away the lifespan of that Nalong and make his soul return to the West. Because of the failure, the matter was suppressed and it was not allowed to spread. Jumping out of the three realms, not in the marble mountains, surpassing creatures. Now it seems that everything is traceable. Such a perverted cultivating monster just climbed to the heavenly gate and became a real dragon, and in a blink of an eye, he will be promoted to Yinglong again. Anything is impossible on it. If Nalong succeeds in being promoted this time, as I expected, then even if I am a great Ming dynasty, I am afraid it will be difficult to explain the time. The tone of City God's words suddenly became extremely calm. It seems that there is a little bit of sadness and despair. Wei Shuzun nodded. The weight of the five-clawed dragon is too heavy. The two men in front of him were so heavy that they couldn't breathe. Who are they? A demon slayer sits in town, frightens the world's demons, and is in charge of the leader. One sits in the town of Gongxianxi, a first-rank judicial and upright god, in charge of the order of Yin and Yang. In the whole world, only His Majesty Mingxuan Huang, the 9th five-year emperor, can overwhelm them. However, at this time Wei Shuzun and City God were full of melancholy. Why didn't you accept the order? Wei Shuzun was heartbroken, and he still couldn't figure out why Tiaolong refused the imperial decree. It was as if Nalong had complied with Mingxuan Emperor's canonization and accepted the title of Tianju. So this time, no matter whether he or the city god, he would be happy to see the other party promoted. Even now, both of them can clap their hands to celebrate, and is glad that the other party was not killed by them when they were still weak. But things backfired. The stronger Nalong is now, the more unfavorable it is to Daming. If it is a real dragon with 3 claws, they still don't pay attention to it. Then the appearance of the 5-clawed dragon is enough to shake Tianming's foundation. The city god squinted at Wei Shuzun, with slight contempt in his eyes. You are the majestic boss of the demon-slaying division, aren't you afraid of being laughed at by the world when you say such useless words? Why didn't you accept the order? Suddenly, 2 divine lights shot out from the eyes of Lord Chengwang, and the whole person's aura suddenly became fierce. Looking at the Nalong in Tianxing Mountain, the city god's tone was full of murderous intent. Perhaps now is the best time for us to eradicate that Nalong. Wei Shuzun's deep eyes narrowed, and he said in a deep voice, you want the opponent to kill you when he is promoted. HMPH, back then that Nalong was standing in front of the gate of heaven. If you, Wei Yan, hadn't stopped me, Nalong would have been wiped out long ago, and there would still be today's one. These words are full of resentment, just like a resentful woman in a deep boudoir. Wei Shuzun was powerless to refute. He could only say that this time and that time. His original decision was not wrong. A potential 3-clawed true dragon was worth wooing. The only miscalculation was that the other party refused to surrender to the Ming dynasty. Dragons are naturally proud. How can it be solved by an imperial decree if you want to subdue it? Wei Shuzun began to think carefully, looked at Lord Chengwang and said, Chengwang, I don't agree with the plan you said. Taking advantage of the other party's promotion, the price is too high. The birth of a 5-clawed dragon was not accidental, it could even be said to be a destiny. If you obey the destiny, the other party's own promotion will fail. But if external forces intervene and cause destruction, it can be said to be against the sky. 3-clawed real dragons have been around for hundreds of years and thousands of years, and there may be a chance to produce one. But the 5-clawed dragon has been around since ancient times, throughout modern times, and throughout the reign of the Ming dynasty. Was never born. That is the real divine beast between heaven and earth, without the slightest moisture. Today, a 5-clawed dragon is about to be born in the world, and external forces interfere, not against the sky. The most important thing is, Wei Yan, last time you made a move to block the deity, this time you are going to block it again. Why are you acting like a capricious villain? The city god became irritable, and he didn't show mercy to the other party at all. Don't forget, your monster-killing men are still fighting dragons in Tianxing Mountain. Is it appropriate for you to say such things now? Have Chungwang ever passed? What about failure? Do you know what to face when you fail? Facing the crazy revenge of a five-clawed dragon. It was a catastrophe for the Ming dynasty, which is incomparable to 100 golden beasts with 6 eyes. There are advantages and disadvantages in everything. As for Nalong's promotion, the pros and cons are actually quite obvious. If you can get rid of it, everyone will be happy, but what if you can't get rid of it? That is to force others to become the real scourge of the Ming dynasty. It's not that Wei Yan uplifts others' aspirations and destroys his prestige. He, Wei Shuzun, sits in the town to kill demons, and he is 3 points more ferocious than all the demons in the world. But it can't hold back that Nalong has deep blessings and great luck. At the beginning, the opponent was just a snake, and the 2 organizations did not get rid of it. He watched helplessly as the other party's newly promoted Snake King went through the robbery, and then ascended to the gate of heaven and transformed into a dragon. Now, who can guarantee that it will be eliminated? So what if his monster-slaying troops went to Crouching Dragon Pond vigorously? Others don't play their cards according to the routine at all. Backhand is ready to be promoted to Yinglong. Made you lose your temper at all. Then what do you say? City God let out his mighty aura. Go talk to that dragon. From beginning to end, the 2 sides have never talked about it. Even when Emperor Mingxuan issued an order, he did so without saying hello. Wei Yan felt that it was time to sit down and have a good talk with the dragon in Wolongtan. Talk, the city god chuckled. Should we talk about it now, or wait until the other party is promoted? Talking now, I'm afraid that whatever we say, the other party will agree against his will. If we talk about it after the other party's promotion, as Yinglong's confidence, I'm afraid he won't put the Ming dynasty in his eyes. Wei Yan said, let's talk now. After the talk is over, you can let the other party sit. The oath in this world is not to take off your pants and fart, it is checked and balanced by heaven and earth. As long as the other party agrees to our request, it's not impossible for my Ming dynasty to have a 5-clawed dragon. If you don't agree, I, Wei Yan, and my entire demon-slaying division will cooperate with your city god's next actions. As soon as these words came out, city god's expression softened a lot. At least give each other a chance. Anyway, no matter how you do it, you can't kill a dragon. Talking about it might make a difference. Tianxing Mountain is high in the sky. Lin Mu completely showed his dragon posture, standing across the sky. His aura intensified, and the mana in his body was overwhelmingly surging. The whole body is full of energy and blood. Every piece of dragon scale covering the whole body is emitting fiery light. This pair of majestic dragon body has reached the point where he can't speak fast. It's almost brewing, it's about to start. Lin Mu was a little nervous in his heart. This kind of nervousness was not caused by a strong enemy coming to Wolongtan. He didn't pay attention to those human masters at all. Nervous is bottomless. After all, the evolution of Yinglong is a major event, even more important than ascending the heavenly gate. As long as Lin Mu succeeds, then he, the dragon, will completely look down on the world and cross the world. Anyone, any force, can look down on ministers. Before doing anything, it is no better than the deduction of the prophet. With the qualifications to truly stand tall in this world. Originally, Lin Mu only wanted to quietly complete the promotion at the bottom of the pool. But he found it impossible. The promotion of Yinglong is no longer his personal business. It is the prosperity of the whole world. Can't hide. The movement will be very loud. Before he pressed the start button, his Longwei couldn't even suppress himself. Instead of being sneaky, he might as well openly manifest the world. His snake had originally turned into a dragon under the eyes of the world. That's the same as ascending to the gate of heaven. Promote Yinglong generously in front of the world. The whole world celebrates. Call. Lin Mu took a deep breath and prepared to start the promotion. Prepare not to suppress the surging power in your body. However, at this critical moment, Lin Mu was in a trance for a while, as if he was about to fall into a deep sleep, into a dream. Who the hell dares to use the dream spell on me to create a dream? Lin Mu's golden candle-like pupils were cold. It seemed that he was going to be promoted to Yinglong, and some people couldn't sit still. Just about to crush that unnecessary dream. But a sound transmission came from thousands of miles away in my mind. I am the demon slayer Wei Yan, and the real dragon in Wolongtan, let's talk. Demon slayer Wei Yan. The chill in Lin Mu's eyes turned into murderous intent. This is his number one enemy when he came to this world. The other party successively killed Lin Mu. There is no endless entanglement. Lin Mu has long been annoyed. Now the men and horses of the demon-slaying division have all been killed in Wolongtan. Lin Mu has long thought that after he is promoted, he will slowly clean up one by one. Even going to Wolongtan, no one can even think about going back alive. However, now the leader of the demon slayer took the initiative to talk to himself. Lin Mu couldn't help laughing. This is a big step forward for him, right? Enemy number one finally gave him a chance to have a fair talk. Instead of hiding behind, lightly controlling the life and death of others. Everyone is standing at the same height. Of course, after Lin Mu is promoted to Yinglong, it will be another situation. Well, labor and capital will give you this opportunity. Lin Mu is no longer resisting, and has merged into the dream created by the other party. Immediately, Lin Mu's eyes slowly filled with fog, and the mist was hazy. I am in a special and wonderful space. Everything around is invisible, like smoke and mist, and the clouds are steaming and rosy, showing an inexplicable artistic conception. He himself turned into a small dragon, only a few feet in size, about 2 meters above the surface. There was a turbulence ahead, and two figures gradually appeared. The distance in the middle is no more than 10 meters. Two people. Lin Mu looked intently, and the one on the left was a middle-aged man, dressed in casual clothes and Xingyi, with a refined appearance but a decent aura. Obviously, it is the domineering that has been cultivated by living in high positions all the year round. The man on the right is tall and mighty, dressed in an official uniform, with an official hat on his head, and his face is covered in black. His eyes are like lightning, he is upright, and he has a dignified look. Just by looking at it twice, Lin Mu knew it in his heart. Guess the identity of these two people. Wolongtan True Dragon, I have been with you for so long, and I finally meet you. The man in Xingyi on the left spoke first, and he introduced himself. This deity is Wei Yan, the demon-slaying division, and the one next to me is the first-ranked god of justice for the immortal division, the city god. Humph. The city god gave a faint cold snort as a greeting. It's not okay to be arrogant. It turned out that it was the two adults who had always wanted to kill me. Ah, it's a pleasure to meet you. Lin Mu sarcastically. Wei Yan smiled awkwardly, and immediately said, Your Excellency, you are going to be promoted to Yinglong. Yes, Lin Mu teased. If Master Wei Shuzun hadn't suddenly asked me to talk to this little dragon, I would have already started at this moment. Wei Yan stared at the real dragon floating not far in front of him with burning eyes. Try not to use the usual condescending tone, and said, I came here with the city god, and I just want to ask Your Excellency, that day, Your Excellency killed Liamu Jinyi, and the Holy Majesty issued an imperial decree. Why did you refuse? My little dragon also wants to ask Mr. Wei Shuzun, when I was a new Snake King, I didn't even go down the mountain, why did I use the thunder formation to kill me? Lin Mu's needlepoint is against the wheat on. Are you holding a grudge? Wei Yan stared at the suspended dragon. Shouldn't I hold grudges? If someone wants to kill you indiscriminately, will your first lord just smile and let go? Wei Yan was choked to death. I was speechless for a while. He can't answer such words. Could it be said that he sits in the town to kill demons, but whenever he sees a demon, he will be a saint? There is no reason, just according to the mood. Suddenly, Wei Yan felt a little ridiculous. Think less than a year ago. The subordinates reported that the Tianxing Mountain Snake Clan had a new king. He didn't think much about it, nor did he pay attention to it. He casually said that he had been bombarded by the thunder formation. Because this kind of thing is not done less. But in a blink of an eye, the king of the Snake Clan grew to the point where he had to condescend to talk to the other party. Isn't it ironic? Why say those useless things? The city god stood up, staring at the floating dragon in front of him and asked, I am just asking you if you are willing to submit to my Ming dynasty, you have to agree, you are the eyes of the common people. Lord Tianzhu, you can be extremely honorable, no one will trouble you, others will only respect you, but if you agree. I don't agree. Are the two adults planning to sneak attack when my little dragon is promoted to Yinglong? Lin Mu's eyes shot out. The means of the human race have long been used rotten. He is also used to Sikong. HMPH, it's good that you know, those who know the current affairs are brilliant, Your Excellency, you must understand that you are not Yinglong yet. City God snorted coldly. Go ahead and kill me, don't be soft. Anyway, it's not the first time you've done something like this, but... Lin Mu's murderous intention suddenly appeared, and the dragon scales all over his body exuded the luster of precious jade, and said with contempt for everything, if you can't kill me, let me, a little dragon, be promoted to Yinglong smoothly, then the old and new hatred will be broken. I will make a good calculation with you, and I will never give up. I don't dare to say that you will replace your Ming dynasty with a new emperor, but I am a dragon, and I am a little sure about replacing you two adults. Nalong, how dare you be so presumptuous? Do you really think that you are invincible after becoming Yinglong? If we humans don't agree, you won't be able to advance. Don't be arrogant in front of this god. The city god was furious when he heard the words, because he meant to fight. Unfortunately, this is a dream. What the hell? Don't talk if you don't have sincerity, it will delay the promotion of labor and management, and then we will start a war. Lin Mu threw down a sentence, and was about to break up the dream and leave. Damn, make labor and management angry. Etc. Wei Yan pulled the irritable city god, and said, it's a kind of sincerity for the two of us to come to talk to Your Excellency. Why don't you put aside the past and have a peaceful chat? What nonsense. Labor and capital can come, the group is sincere. Lin Mu's pupils were full of disdain. Now can you tell who is the big and small king? Lin Mu did not start this conversation. Asking for help, but still dragging the same as 2.58 million. Lin Mu's attitude is so tough now, he is really worthy of it now. Don't worry about the opponent taking advantage of his promotion to launch a sneak attack. He is now carrying 100,000 Taoism, and the mana in his body is as turbulent as Wang Yang. The most important thing is that Lin Mu now has two means of immortality. Blood rebirth and resurrection. His life is very hard now. These two big figures from the Ming dynasty thought they had taken the initiative to talk to Lin Mu. It is to give Lin Mu this Long Tian big face. Who is so rare? Wei Shuzun naturally sensed the disdain in the dragon's eyes, and he was filled with anger. I have suffered this kind of anger when I scatter. But he also knew that since this conversation started, there must be a result. You must not be impulsive, let alone die without a disease. Your Excellency, you can talk about your own conditions. How can you agree to submit to the Ming dynasty and accept the canonization of the Holy Majesty? Conditions are up to you. I will never talk back to Lord Chengwang, this is our sincerity. It is impossible to surrender, and it will never be possible. Lin Mu refused straight away. The god of the dragon, how can you submit to others? Besides, this dragon is about to be promoted to Yinglong, you should give up your heart. No more discussions. Wei Yan's eyes were burning, staring fixedly at the floating dragon not far away. No negotiation. It seems that Your Excellency is determined to oppose me, the Ming dynasty. Wei Yan shook his head in disappointment, his eyes turned cold. The city god beside him also had an extremely gloomy expression. Lin Mu heard this, but an unknown fire rose in his heart. FKU, the dragon of labor and capital has never opposed you, the Ming dynasty. From the beginning to the end, both of you are like disgusting flies. Come and trouble Benlong. Benlong just asked. Since Benlong came to prominence, have you ever attacked your Ming dynasty? Have you ever troubled a common people 15 times? You can tell me one thing. On the contrary, Long used the world, relieved the severe drought, killed the six-eyed golden beast, and saved the people of Liming. The gods of heaven have given merits and virtues. Is the Ming dynasty blind? Lin Mu almost cursed. What this surnamed Wei said really made him angry. Lin Mu was reborn in this world, although he turned into a snake and later became a dragon. But no matter what the body is, it contains the human soul. Therefore, Lin Mu never thought of going against the human court from the beginning to the end, but only wanted to strengthen himself, so he was celibate. The sky is big and the earth is big, I am happy in you. They were obviously the ones who were madly targeting them, but they insisted on talking nonsense with their eyes open. Not angry, City God said indifferently. You don't have one now, but it doesn't mean you won't have one in the future. The problem is that the dragon in front of him is too perverted. If he is promoted to Yinglong, he will be able to rebel against the Ming dynasty at any time. He wanted to bring disaster to the common people, and it was difficult for anyone to suppress him. What guarantee do you have? Cheng Wang added a sentence at the end. Idiot. Lin Mu rolled his eyes, and there was only contempt in his eyes. Nalong, please keep your mouth clean. This deity is a god of justice, how can I allow you to humiliate me? What's wrong with calling you an idiot for saying such mentally retarded words? Labor and management will guarantee it. You are simply too crazy, this deity is very. Okay, let's put out the fire. Wei Yan hurriedly stood up and pretended to be a good person. Lin Mu cast a sideways glance at Wei Yan, you are the least of the F*C King things. If he had died under the heavenly thunder formation of the Demon Slayer, he would have had a lot of pictures. But Wei Yan began to regret letting Cheng Wang come with him. Totally counterproductive. If the talks go on like this, it is impossible to make peace with each other, and it will only lead to endless troubles. Wolongtan's and Long's attitude is so strong, to be honest, it's a little bit beyond Wei Yan's expectations. So confident, are you really not afraid of serving Lungkui when you get promoted? The stronger the opponent is, the weaker they are. This conversation is good, maybe there is a 5-clawed dragon guarding the Ming dynasty. If the talk collapses, you will always face the revenge of the 5-clawed dragon. The pros and cons are so obvious, even the boss who sits in charge of killing monsters must walk on eggshells. Caution, Your Excellency, how good is this? Both of us have made an oath to promise not to invade each other. If we violate this oath, we will be destroyed by heaven and earth. You don't need to accept the canonization from my pilgrimage to the Ming dynasty. If the people of the Ming dynasty want to believe in you and build temples for you, my court will not stop them. We only need you to make an oath. As soon as these words came out, Lin Mu's face softened a little. This is still a human saying. Master Wei said this earlier, so it's over, just waste time. Wei Yan's eyes lit up. Your Excellency agrees. I promise that this dragon can be established. This dragon aims to surpass the 9 heavens and cross the 4 seas. I have no interest in entangled with your human race. This is Lin Mu's heartfelt words. As long as you don't come to make trouble with Benlong, not only will Benlong not do anything harmful to your Ming dynasty, but on the contrary, if there is any troublesome monster in the world, Benlong will also take action to suppress it, and restore the world to a clear sky. Hearing this, Wei Yan felt as if a stone had fallen from his heart. This dream talk is only getting a little bit of flavor now. The city god wanted to say something again, but Wei Yan stood in front of him in an instant with sharp eyes and quick hands. You can stop talking, then let's make an oath. Wei Yan quickly suggested. Before taking the oath, don't you two adults feel that you need to give Benlong an explanation? You have killed Benlong several times, and now the monster-slaying troops are still in Wolongtan. Why do you want to pass it like this? Quote. Lin Mu looked at Wei Yan and Cheng Wang coldly. Wei Yan said, after taking the oath, I will immediately call back the men and horses of the Demon Slayer. In addition, I, the Demon Slayer, and the Immortal Companion will each offer you a heavy gift as an apology. Besides, this deity will also speak to the Holy Majesty to ask the Imperial Court to offer you a gift as a sign of non-aggression sincerity signed by the Ming dynasty with you. 3 important gifts, what do you think? Lin Mu was a little surprised by Wei Yan's straightforwardness. Even if he wanted to make things difficult, he couldn't find an excuse. At this time, the city god snorted heavily, and blamed Wei Yan for doing all the masters he offered to the Immortal Division. When he is dead, Master Cheng Wang has any opinions? Lin Mu looked at Cheng Wang indifferently. Wei Yan hastily tugged at Cheng Wang's cuff, winked at him, and asked him to make a statement. HMPH, what Wei Shuzun says will be what he says. Although City God's mouth is hard, he still has a big picture. Knowing that the conversation has come to this point, it is not easy. Ying Long's weight can only make them continue to compromise in this conversation. Okay, then Benlong will see how heavy the 3 important gifts in Mr. Wei's mouth are, if they are light. Your Majesty, don't worry, it's only important. Unexpectedly, Master Wei said something like this, so Benlong will remind you that you can recall the troops of the monster-killing division in Wolongtan, but if Benlong sees people still exist after he is promoted, then he will keep them all. Never mind. Forget it all, these few words are full of murderous intent. Wei Yan frowned. Understood. It is good. Let's swear. Immediately afterwards, the two sides began to make an oath. The expression is solemn and serious. After Lin Mu made the oath of non-aggression, his head sank immediately. Invisibly, it seems to be wearing a magic spell. He knows that this is the binding force of heaven and earth. You have made an oath to heaven and earth, and you have your own supervision. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, because Lin Mu didn't want to go back on his word. Without the entanglement of the demon slayer and the immortal, he can practice faster. You can also do something on your own. Ben Long is waiting for 3 important gifts. Before the words fell, the real dragon in the dream disappeared. Wei Yan and Cheng Wang didn't leave the dream immediately. The city god looked at the place where the real dragon disappeared, and said worriedly, "Can this oath really prevent that dragon from becoming a hidden danger to my Ming dynasty? Heaven and earth are lessons, can he still turn the sky?" Wei Yan is full of confidence. This dream talk, after all, is a good result. We have achieved peace by shaking hands, and peace is the most important thing. You don't have to bother anymore. No worries. I don't think so, but what if that dragon breaks through the bloodline of the dragon clan again in the future? I am afraid that the binding force of heaven and earth will be gone. After becoming Yinglong, will he be promoted again? Wei Yan seemed to have heard a big joke, and looked at Cheng Wang. Do you think there is such a possibility? Above Yinglong is the legendary golden dragon. It is nothingness, it only exists in the legends of the prehistoric world. It is only a head shorter than the ancestor dragon born after the creation of the world. The city god asked coldly. When Wei Shuzun killed the new Snake King with the Thunder Formation, did he ever think that that snake would one day be promoted to the 5-clawed dragon? Ah, this. A simple sentence froze Wei Yanwen's whereabouts. It's strange, Master Tianju manifested, why has he stayed in the sky, and there is no movement? The dignitaries on the streets of Kyoto began to discuss. A bit unclear, so, could it be that Master Tianju knew that everyone missed him very much? Suzhou showed up. Just to let everyone take a closer look. So caring. The men and horses of the demon-slaying division have already killed the Wolong Lake. This Nilong was afraid, so he hid in the sky and dared not come down. You can't see this. There are thousands of people. There are so many people on the street, and not all of them are fans of True Dragon. Some people became angry. I see, this Nilong is not far from death, you all wake up. Refused to be canonized by the emperor, and was wanted by the demon slayer. He felt himself saying it now. It is to express the position of the imperial court. If this spread to the ears of the Holy Majesty, maybe Longyun would be very happy and reward himself with an official position. However, as soon as these words came out, what was given to him was a whole street of saliva. Almost drowned him. While the whole street was buzzing, suddenly, the winding real dragon flying across the sky above Tianxing Mountain moved. Just stretching his body, the flawless dragon body burst into a dazzling light. In an instant, everyone's eyes could not be opened. Shrouded by that dazzling light, an irresistible dragon's prestige invaded. Plop plop plop. For a moment, countless people couldn't control their bodies and knelt down one after another. 5 body cast. I can't even lift my head. Woke up, trembling all over. What's going on? Master Tianju is angry. The long way pressing on everyone became more and more intense, making everyone breathless. There are major cultivators who bless their eyes and try their best to look up to the sky. It was found that the whole dragon body of the real dragon was expanding. From top to bottom, jade-like dragon scales are rustling down. Roar! There was a long cry of the dragon, and the sky and the earth shook. Vaguely, someone seemed to have heard the creaking of bones. After all, the domineering dragon scales of the real dragon in Hong Kong fell off. Immediately afterwards, the flesh and blood all over his body began to explode. The sinuous white bones were exposed. Shocking! The real dragon is transforming. Some people gasped, as if they couldn't believe their eyes. If the 3-clawed true dragon transforms, it will be 5-clawed. Ordinary people are not qualified to see this kind of picture. Luo Jinshu, the lake god of Yunhu Lake in Beishan, stood on the lake, looking up to the sky with a look of astonishment. Promoted to Yinglong. Damn, isn't this pervert going too far? She looked dazed. Everyone turned into a dragon one after another. It was only 2 days before and after. But for Luo Jinshu, being able to leap the dragon's gate with a carp is already a great blessing. She didn't even dare to think about the next stage, let alone be able to do it. However, something she couldn't even think about was the guy who transformed into a dragon only 2 days earlier than her actually started doing it. This makes her how to deal with herself. It's true that people are more dead than people, and dragons are better than dragons. Luo Jinshu can't wait to dig a hole and get in. I have no face to see people. Even if she is given hundreds of years to practice, it is still out of reach to be promoted to Yinglong. Asshole, bully the dragon too much. Wolongtan Real Dragon Hengkong Transformation, promotion to Yinglong. The biggest impact is not this Lord Hushan, but in the world of demon spirits, the Evergreen King who was watching a show with 3 deep mountain demon kings and a group of cave masters. At this time, King Chengqing was so surprised that he poked there like a half log, open mouth wide, motionless. In the dark, a breath of death quietly enveloped him, lingering. Originally, everyone was still enjoying watching the show. Watch the men and horses of the monster slayer go to Wolongtan. But it didn't take long for the real dragon of Wolongtan to soar into the sky and hover in the sky. Hang on, what are you doing? Promoted to Yinglong, FK it. Impossible, I don't believe it, it's all fake, it's all an illusion. Evergreen King suddenly roared hysterically. The whole face became distorted and ferocious, just like a wild beast. A powerful demonic aura that was uncontrollable from his body surged out, carrying a terrifying hostility. A group of cave masters behind them were taken aback, and their faces suddenly changed and they retreated. King Chengqing suddenly went crazy, and the aura of the Demon King from the deep mountain broke out, and they couldn't help shouting. They all looked at each other in blank dismay. Only the other 3 deep mountain demon kings were not affected except for their surprised expressions, because the 3 of them are above Evergreen King. What is he doing? Stimulated. Ape Stone King touched the back of his head, he was bewildered. Little Rabbit King was considerate, and handed over a carrot. Do you want to eat a carrot and calm down? Snapped. King Chengqing beat the radish into the air, and his whole mood became extremely unstable. Even the big and small Rabbit King didn't give face. He also yelled loudly, I don't believe it, how could he be promoted to Yinglong so quickly, who can tell me how he did it? Wolongtan, it is the treasure of Wolongtan, it must be like this. Treasure. What kind of treasure is there in Wolongtan? Ape Stone King asked with bright eyes. King Chengqing stared at the dragon with only skeletons in the sky with red eyes. A whole body of dragon scales and flesh and blood fell apart, as if it was about to fall apart. However, the dragon's prestige exuded has been rising steadily, endlessly. King Chengqing seems to have seen his end coming. The other party is only a real dragon, so he doesn't pay attention to him, the Demon King of the Deep Mountain. If he succeeds in being promoted to Yinglong, he will definitely settle accounts with himself. Panicked, at this moment, King Chengqing really panicked. His body is a purple gold bamboo, how can he be the opponent of the 5-clawed dragon? The Peacock King's eyes were also fixedly staring at the sky, and his eyes showed great compassion. But under the great compassion, there was another inexplicable emotion. It seems to be jealous, it is tricky, it is. Gradually, the expression became very dignified. I don't know what I'm thinking. A vigorous road to promotion for Yinglong was laid before the world. I don't know how many people have negative emotions in their hearts. Even without the help of heavenly tribulation, the dragon flying across the sky is enough to attract the attention of the world. There are no dragon scales, no flesh and blood, but the thick and overbearing dragon aura still permeates. Even the breath continued to strengthen over time. And this kind of strengthening is several times, dozens of times of improvement. In this world, no one can clearly say how strong a 5-clawed dragon is. That divine dragon that appeared in the legend can't help but make people look forward to it. The world is shrouded in dazzling light and attacked by the powerful dragon power. Try to keep yourself awake. Let yourself be able to witness the birth of a 5-clawed dragon with your own eyes. For Shanxi Chengwang Temple, City God and Wei Shuzun opened their eyes at the same time, and then paid attention to the sky above Tianxing Mountain. The City God said quietly, it seems that without our imperial court making trouble, it is imperative for the other party to be promoted to Yinglong. That dragon is already being reborn, the dragon scales are completely sloughed off, and the next step is to be reborn. Wei Yan said lightly, it would be a shocking thing if the other party failed in promotion. It's not too late for you and me, let's go to the palace, today's matter needs to be reported in detail to the Holy Majesty, besides, the deity has already figured out what to give for that important gift from the court. Wei Shuzun has so much power, it's all right to be the master of Shanxi for me, and now he is also the master of His Majesty. I, Wei Yan, devoted myself to Daming and died. All my thoughts are for the sake of Daming's country. I have no intention of overstepping. The world can learn from it. HMPH, let's talk about this kind of thing with His Majesty when Lord Wei enters the palace. Wei Yan pulled Chang Huang's cuffs, and was about to run away, but his face became inexplicably excited. I don't know what he's excited about. Let's go, what's the matter? The god himself knows the art of escaping from the ground. By the way, you said that you have planned a great gift for the dragon for the imperial court. What is it? Haha, let's talk in the palace, let's talk in the palace. Sky over Tianxing Mountain. The dragon's body, which had turned into sinuous white bones, erupted into a blazing light again. Immediately, under the witness of the world, the dragon's body glowed for a while. Every inch of flesh and blood began to grow crazily visible to the naked eye, as the flesh and blood body just took shape. All kinds of mysterious and incomparable lines on it unfolded accordingly. One after another, ancient runes and precious characters emerged, lingering around Mo Zhen. These ancient characters are twisted and twisted, like the language of a dragon. All over the body, the universe is finalized. The whole process can be said to be done in one go. Have you seen it clearly? The dragon's body is covered with scale patterns. This is the Yinglong pattern, which is unique. Those with major cultivation came out in amazement. Yinglong is extremely noble, and the scale pattern is like the most mysterious formation in the world. Everything is invincible, and all laws are invincible. And the covered scales present a holy yellow color. It's like wearing a yellow robe of the 95 Lord, flowing with the supreme majesty of the world. As the scale pattern was completely formed, dragon scales began to pop out one by one. Each dragon scale glows like the sun and the moon, exuding the terrifying aura of ancient beasts. All of a sudden, people were brought back to the ancient times when the lords were fighting for the deer and the races were fighting for hegemony. In this way, a brand new body of Yinglong first appeared. A breath of dragon that dominates the world and disregards all things explodes out. A pair of dragon eyes suddenly opened, and the years of the country and the river of all things, and the terrifying scene of the destruction of everything flashed in the eyes. The most astonishing thing is that on the dragon head, the left and right dragon horns are derived backwards. First born with double horns, domineering and awe-inspiring, Fuli stands out from the world. Immediately afterwards, on the winding dragon's back, a pair of multicolored wings broke out, gorgeous and colorful, with outstanding splendor. As soon as the dragon wings came out, the eyes of the world were full of worship and admiration. The dragon grows wings and spreads its wings for 9 days. Into the sky, into the sea, omnipotent. This is not over yet, only 5 dragon claws have evolved successively in the belly of the dragon. Each dragon claw contains the immortal calendar. Roar! The newly formed 5-clawed Yinglong opened his mouth and groaned, and the orthodox mighty power of the dragon spread out. Swallowing mountains and rivers with arrogance, the Tao is invincible. Its whole body is shining with incomparably blazing light, and the whole body is full of rays of light. The entire Tianxing mountain is set off with brilliance, pearls and jade, magnificent and magnificent. It's like a sacred mountain. The strongest and most holy dragon prestige permeated the sky, penetrating the heaven and the earth. It was so powerful that it made the whole world tremble. Boom! Suddenly, the sky was empty, and a sky fire rolled down and exploded immediately. A blazing red glow covered the sky. There are endless exposures in the sky, Baosha, auspicious clouds, and auspicious air, running through the north, south, east, and west, and the presentation of the hype. This is the scene of prosperity. Unparalleled miracle. The 5-clawed dragon is born, my God. The world went crazy, the scene of that sky was too dreamy. Witness such a great moment with your own eyes. Everyone can't help but have difficulty controlling their emotions. At this time, all the creatures in the four directions looked up to the sky and worshipped excitedly. The birth of Yinglong is a natural auspicious sign. This is the blessing of heaven and earth. You can be lucky enough to see the appearance of ancient mythical beasts, and you can see such a dreamy scene. Not how awesome you are. But you live in the moment, you have this blessing. In the next life, even if you are a cow or a horse in the next life, this life will not be in vain. The five-claw Yinglong, the ancient mythical beast, was suspended in front of the world. Remember it forever, never forget it. All living beings in the world worship it. At this moment, even if Emperor Mingxuan of the Ming dynasty traveled with his imperial driver, he could not take away Yinglong's demeanor. In the eyes of the world, at this moment, they only know the dragon, not the king. The master demon-slaying master who killed the people in Wolongtan saw Yinglong's birth at this moment, his eyes became empty. Jun Zian looked at the five-clawed Yinglong in a daze, his heart was so shocked that it was hard to add. Slay the dragon, what to chop? His swordsmanship is strong, and it may be difficult to injure a dragon scale of the opponent. The holy face of the little living Buddha also gradually dimmed. The jasper Buddhist beads in his hand broke suddenly and fell down with a rustle. The sect masters on the side were all ashamed. Wei Shuzun has an order to evacuate all Tianqing mountains, there must be no mistakes. The voice of a mirror operator appeared. Retire now, how can I save face if I retreat? Jun Zian gritted his teeth, he was the first to kill the Wolong Lake from under the iron barrel of 1500 dragons. I thought I could slay the dragon, I thought I could achieve success. But he didn't do anything now, and he was going to leave in embarrassment, he was not reconciled. Amitabha, the Buddha said that I will not go to hell, only hell. The little living Buddha ignored the order to retreat at all, and the Buddha's light on his body became more and more universal. A group of sect masters saw that the two had no intention of retiring. I was also in a dilemma for a while. However, at this moment, what should the dragon be? This king is not afraid, this king will eat the dragon today. From the Tianqing mountain demon spirit realm, there was a sharp and mournful roar. A terrible evil spirit boiled out. This evil spirit is extremely terrifying. It gives people the illusion of moving mountains to fill the sea and destroying the rivers and lakes. Not good, it was the demon king of the deep mountain of Tianqing mountain who made the move. Someone with a major cultivation base exclaimed in shock. Stare wide-eyed to see. Such terrifying monster aura can only be possessed by a monster king with at least 100,000 years of practice. Immediately, a bamboo surrounded by a terrifying and demonic aura shot up into the sky. Like a sharp demon sword, piercing through the heaven and earth, stabbing towards Yinglong. Irresistible. Okay. Yinglong who has just been promoted, the twin dragon lights burst out with the divine light of Moli and Haodang. Like an ancient god, it cannot be violated, and no one else can be presumptuous. A dragon claw moved downward to suppress it. Boom. The world is in turmoil. When the dragon claw comes out, everything is broken. There are holy light and runes intertwined on the claws, all of the boiling evil energy is evaporated and dispelled at once. Then he held down the terrible bamboo, making it unable to move. Then grab it hard, instantly catches and explodes the entire bamboo. With this explosion, the bamboo turned into billowing monster energy and screamed. Want to escape? The dragon claw grabbed again. Grab this group of evil spirits that want to escape in the palm of your hand. Draw the ground as a prison. This group of demonic energy turned into a ferocious-looking man, struggling heart-piercingly. What? It's actually King Changqing, one of the four great demon kings in Tianqing Mountain, whose body is a purple-golden bamboo. Some people have poisonous eyes and recognize them. Plants are born without 9 orifices, so it is extremely difficult to cultivate. King Changqing had already cultivated a purple-gold bamboo to the level of the demon king in the deep mountains. It can also be said to have created a miracle. I don't know how many people's eyes fell. This evergreen king is crazy, he dared to attack the 5-clawed dragon. HMPH, it's really a birthday star who eats arsenic and thinks his life is too long. Someone in Kyoto mocked with disdain. The majestic demon king of the deep mountains, with a strong and fierce reputation. But now in the eyes of the world, he is like a deadly clown. I don't know what it means to challenge Yinglong's divine power. The same is true. The demon king of the deep mountain is strong enough. But in just one round, he was caught in the palm of Yinglong's hand. Sucker punch. Compete with each other. Not a level opponent at all. 3-clawed true promotion to 5-clawed Yinglong, just like a mortal, soaring into a fairy. The front and back are like clouds and mud. How could it be so strong? Even Yinglong shouldn't be so strong. I was horrified by the evergreen king of a master. There was a dead air in the whole person. The birth of Yinglong made him unable to bear the pressure in his heart. Only then decided to fight to the death. But the ending was such an understatement that it was defeated. 100,000 plus terrifying monster power is useless. I am done. King Chengqing was disheartened, and Yinglong's strength is not something you can make up for. At this moment he regretted it. He really should have listened to Zhonggui's words and shouldn't be an enemy of the dragon. And in front of the bamboo forest castle. Seeing this scene, Xuangui, who was carrying a thick tortoise shell, sighed and shook his head. Then he left the castle step by step. It's free. Sky. Yinglong glanced sideways at the evergreen king on his claws, showing contempt without words. Lifting the dragon claw, he sent the Chengqing king to his own mouth. Too polite. Promoted to Yinglong's first meal, 100,000 deepened the mountain demon king. I accepted it. Suddenly, born to change. Behind Yinglong, a huge peacock suddenly appeared. Once manifested, it shocked the eyes of the world. What? Tianxing Mountain, the second deep mountain demon king, Peacock King also appeared. This giant peacock is surrounded by demons and Buddhas. The Peacock King also needs to deal with the dragon. What's the situation? The picture that appeared in the sky made the world more and more incomprehensible. The two great demon kings from the deep mountains fought back and forth. The key is that King Chengqing was captured in one round. Yinglong was so strong. Does the Peacock King still dare to make a move? How emboldened is it? I saw that behind the Peacock King actually manifested a Buddhist Vajra Dharma image. Lifelike, glaring, holding a Vajra. Peacock Great Compassion Curse of Vajra's angering eyes. A faint and cold voice resounded between heaven and earth. Gee. The huge peacock opened its mouth, and the 5-clawed Yinglong who was facing forward hysterically roared. As soon as the roar came out, the world suddenly became turbulent. Sound waves billowing like tides cover the sky. The sky and the earth instantly dimmed. In Tianxing Mountain, the Peacock King, who ranks second among the 4 great deep mountain demon kings, made a move. In an instant, the world was amazed. Many people's blood boiled. Just saw the birth of the 5-clawed Yinglong, and in a blink of an eye, it was the 2 deep mountain demon kings of Tianxing Mountain to challenge. Yinglong turned his head suddenly, and the range of endless sound waves was extremely wide. The power attack that is not substantive is the most deadly. However, Yinglong's pupils showed a domineering contempt for everything, so he didn't make any moves. Take this set of great compassion mantra hard. The impact of the invincible sound waves shattered several peaks of Tianxing Mountain. Yinglong is mighty and unyielding, fearless. But Chengqing King, who was caught by the dragon's claws, had a frightened expression on his face. As the demon king of the deep mountain, it is very aware of the terrifying power of the Peacock King's move. No, the evergreen king screamed terribly. Its demon body couldn't resist the sound wave, and it collapsed directly. Then the soul is flushed. Instant death without a place to bury. In the next second, a purple gold tool without any life appeared in the dragon claw. With the full power of the great compassion mantra. In the end, he forced the mighty Yinglong back more than a dozen feet. Just a few dozen feet is enough for the world to dislike each other. You wanna die. Yinglong's cold voice fell from the sky, and a terrifying dragon tail swept towards the Peacock King. Turned upside down. As expected of a 5-clawed dragon, this peacock has learned the lesson, and there will be a period later. Unexpectedly, the Peacock King didn't go to catch it at all, spread its gorgeous wings, and dodged with a glimpse. Fly directly towards the direction of the mountain. He actually left the realm of Tianxing Mountain. In just a few minutes, Yinglong was born. Of the 4 great mountain monster kings in Tianxing Mountain, one fell and the other fled to Tianheng Mountain. The ups and downs of the plot made the world unable to react for a while. But there is one thing that everyone clearly realizes, that the 5 claws should be the strength of the dragon. It can be described as invincible in the world. The great compassion curse of the Peacock King directly roared down the Chengqing King, who was also the demon king of the deep mountain. But Yinglong just stepped back more than a dozen feet and went out without any scars. This new dragon body is flawless and impeccable. And from this moment on, there is no such thing as a real dragon in Wolongtan. Some are just invincible five-clawed dragons. Wolongtan. There was no more struggle in Jun Xian's eyes, he turned around and ran away without saying a word. Face is big, but fate is not big. Beside the little living Buddha, 8 eminent Buddhist monks appeared. Lift him up and run away to Li Tianhang Mountain. The monster-slaying masters at the foot of the mountain wanted to escape. But it has been attacked by the dragons frantically. Most of them were swallowed by Jiaolong. The most surprising thing among them is that there is also a cameraman who makes one careless. It was torn apart by a group of flood dragons. Only the remaining 3 mirrors gave the order to retreat, and fled ecstatically. Because if they don't leave, they will probably die too. With the birth of Yinglong with 5 claws, and the death and jump of the 2-day deep mountain demon king, the world suddenly became extremely quiet. But things are not over. In the forbidden city of Kyoto, a majestic decree floated out, heading in the direction of Yinglong in Tianxing Mountain. A solemn voice followed closely behind. Following the fate of heaven, the emperor's edict said, "The real dragon in Wolongtan, abide by your duty, practice diligently, have deep blessings, and prosperous luck. It is really gratifying to be promoted to the 5-clawed dragon. This is an auspicious sign for the Ming dynasty. I am so happy that I must reward you. I bestow Tianxing Mountain as a place of practice for the dragon candle, which is admired by all people. May the dragon god and beast bless the people of Ming dynasty to be safe and healthy. You don't need to receive an order or thank you. Thank you." After the sound of the imperial edict ended, the imperial edict fell towards the territory of Wolongtan by itself. Hanging on a cliff. Suddenly, people all over the world were moved. This is the second decree issued by Emperor Mingzan. It was only a few days before and after. Give Tianxing Mountain to Yinglong as a practice place. But it can't be renamed Tianzhu Mountain. But many discerning people secretly suppressed their laughter. As the emperor of the Ming dynasty, this decree was humble enough. No need to accept orders, no need to thank you. Clearly, it was the first experience and lesson learned. Compared to the moving faces of the people all over the world, the monsters in the Tianxing Mountains were even more astonished. After being surprised, he cursed again and again. Tianxing Mountain has become Yinglong's private practice site, so wouldn't all the monsters in the mountain become Yinglong's palm? This decree seems to be a reward, but it is actually a monster that disgusted the entire Tianxing Mountain. For such little beasts and monsters, they don't matter. The 5-claw Yinglong, the overlord of the dragon, all surrender and admire. Masters eligible for day hikes. However, for such a big monster in the demon spirit world, it is a humiliation. They have always behaved indiscriminately. The sky is big and the earth is big, and they are the biggest. How can it be reduced to Yinglong's private property? I can respect you, but if you want to stand up and become the master, you will surpass the demon king in the deep mountains. Become the master of the entire Tianxing Mountain. Then everyone's opinion will be great. The cave master of 72 Road cursed and blurted out all kinds of foul language, greeting Ming Xuanwang's mother. What imperial decree? It's ridiculous. Tianxing Mountain has long been a place outside the law. Who the hell is going to ignore you? Yes, Tianxing Mountain belongs to all of us, even Yinglong, don't want to ride on our heads. Boss, the emperor of the human race, is it a little swollen? Why don't you take a walk in the palace? The cave masters all focused their eyes on the little rabbit king. If you want to talk about this imperial decree, who will lose the most interests, I am afraid it is the little one in front of you. As the head of the 4 deep mountain demon kings in Tianxing Mountain and the boss of the demon spirit world, it is equivalent to half the owner of this mountain. Why say half? Because this mountain not only has the monster race, but also the ghost race. Although the power of the ghost clan is not as large as that of the monster clan, it should not be underestimated. Now the emperor of the human race ordered Yinglong to become the master of Tianxing Mountain. Then no matter the power of the monster clan or the ghost clan, they must obey the rule of Yinglong. Inexplicably, everyone has an extra master. It's not cool to change anyone. Although no one will really take that decree seriously. What if Yinglong took it seriously? Little Rabbit King's eyes flickered, but he was not thinking about this problem. Why did you say that Evergreen King and Peacock King fought against the dragon just now? Each of the cave masters was also at a loss. It is not surprising that the king of Changqing took action against him because of his family. After all, King Evergreen has been targeting the Snake clan, and he wanted to join forces with various cave masters to attack Wolongtan. Now that Zhenlong is promoted to Yinglong, King Changqing is afraid that the other party will make trouble for him, so he can only take the lead with his subordinates. Because it has no way out. But the Peacock King made a move, but it really surprised everyone. This demon king in the deep mountain likes to call Amitabha Buddha whenever he has nothing to do. It can be regarded as earth-shattering. If it was said that it wanted to save King Changqing, no one would believe it. Although is also the demon king of the deep mountain, they have little friendship. Besides, in the end, the Changwei king did not die at the hands of Yinglong. Instead, he died under the power of the Peacock King's great compassion curse. It wants to take refuge in the Ming court. No one could give an answer, but it was Little Rabbit King who finally made it up. What? The Peacock King took refuge in the human court. Cave Master 72 Road was taken aback. That's right, everyone thinks about it. After the Peacock King made a move, he faced the counterattack of the corresponding dragon. Fly directly towards the mountain. He disappeared without a trace. Where else can it go besides taking refuge in the imperial court? The more everyone thought about it, the more they felt that this possibility was very high, and they looked at each other in blank dismay. Who would have thought that the Peacock King had such ambitions? It is really abominable to take refuge in the imperial court. Traitor. Boss, why do I feel that the situation is not good? King Changqing died, King Peacock took refuge in the human court, and 2 of the 4 great mountains in the demon spirit world went directly. Now there is another Yinglong pressing on our heads. Boss, brothers can all rely on you. Some cave masters panicked. What are you afraid of? If Yinglong is sensible, he shouldn't take that broken imperial decree seriously. If he really misses the master who walked the mountain that day, Haocho, will blow it up with one punch. King Yuanshi was ready to fight, his fighting spirit was high. It can recognize Yinglong, but its fist can't. The cave masters glanced at the Ape Stone King. You've got it. If you were Monkey King, everyone would believe this. The powerful great compassion mantra of the Peacock King only pushed back Yinglong by more than a dozen feet. In the hearts of these cave masters, the only one who can stand up to Yinglong is the mysterious Little Rabbit King. It won't work for anyone. However, the Little Rabbit King gnawed on the radish and didn't express his opinion. Finally, he waved his hand. It's all over, it's a good show. Boss. Hey, don't worry, the sky won't fall down, Tianqing Mountain is still the same Tianqing Mountain. The Little Rabbit King left a word and bounced around to kill the doctor. As soon as the Mingzan Emperor's imperial decree came out, the 5-clawed Yinglong in the sky disappeared. The next moment, he returned to the territory of Wolongtan. At this time, all the dragons in Wolongtan turned into human figures and knelt on the ground. 1,500 flood dragons did not stop the demon-killing army. The expression is ashamed. Lin Mu turned into a 5-claw Yinglong, suspended on the surface of the pool, even if Longwei didn't deliberately release it. The surrounding air is boiling like boiling water. How many died? A cool voice came out faintly. The Emperor Liang Snake stood up. If you return to the king, it will be close to 200. Where is the demon slayer? A 3rd-rank mirror envoy died, and there were more than 200 other casualties. Then you didn't lose. Don't use this expression. Go down and have a good rest. Yes, the dragon masters retreated into the forest one after another. Immediately, there was a deafening sound. Congratulations to Lord Snake King for being promoted to Yinglong, the heaven and the earth, only the king is the only one. Lin Mu smiled slightly, and immediately saw an imperial decree hanging on a cliff out of the corner of his eye, and fell into thought. Could this be the royal court ceremony that Wei Yan mentioned? HMPH, it's really heavy. Taking Tianqing Mountain as a gift, if you give it, it means you didn't give it. Lin Mu also took Wei Yan's 6th child. All the carefulness in my heart was calculated on my own dragon. It should be said that the imperial court did not give it, but the weight of this gift is really not light. After all, there is no king in the world. It can be said that it was given away, Tianxing Mountain has long been occupied by demons and ghosts, and has become a place outside the law. It is no longer under the control of the Ming court. This gift is equivalent to an empty glove white wolf. In addition, if Lin Mu watched the fire, he figured out that the human race Fu Ting would give Tianxing Mountain to him. It's not just as simple as wanting to be a white wolf with empty gloves. I'm afraid there is an element of using him. I want Lin Mu, Yinglong, to help them deal with the ghosts of Tianxing Mountain. The imperial court is reaping the benefits of the fishermen. Even if Lin Mu wasn't fooled, the imperial decree was meant to be provocative. Sow discord between him and the demon clan of Tianxing Mountain. Become the target of public criticism. Ming Xuanwang's second imperial decree is much more brilliant than the first. No matter how Lin Mu reacts, Fu is sure to make a profit. Depend on. The gifts from the Demon Killing Division and the Shanxi Division should be sent to me with sincerity, otherwise don't blame labor and management for turning their faces. Lin Mu was very upset, but this dumb loss has already been eaten. I can't even spit it out. However, he was promoted to Yinglong, and the shallow water place of Wolongtan is indeed too small. The little one is no longer worthy of his status. At this time, a beautiful figure floated in front of Lin Mu's dragon body. Lin Mu was slightly surprised. "You're awake." The suspended zombie woman didn't respond, but kept staring at Yinglong. Lin Mu looked a little at a loss. He had long been used to the zombie woman in a deep sleep. Now face to face, a little awkward. I don't know what to say. Presumably it was the Demon Slayer's men who woke her up. Imperial Palace, Imperial Study Room in the Forbidden City. After Wei Shuzun and the city god had an audience and reported the matter, they both left. But not long after, a young prince with blonde hair stood outside the door of the imperial study in a heroic manner. There is an extremely noble atmosphere exuding from his body. When the eunuch on duty saw it, he immediately went in to send a message. It didn't take long for a sharp voice to sound. The 13 princes have an audience with King Qi. Xiao Qish stepped into the imperial study. My son Xiao Qish pays homage to his father. Ming Xuanwang was in a good mood at this time, and the Ming dynasty ruled, and a 5-clawed Yinglong was born. And also made a non-aggression agreement with the court. Not long ago, Wei Yan offered advice, and he issued the second imperial decree. He also bestowed Tianxing Mountain on Yinglong. The mystery contained in it made Ming Xuanwang Longyan very happy. I have to say that Wei Yan is scheming and has won my heart. Che, why don't you see me? Ming Xuanwang looked at himself, the 13th prince, with loving eyes. The equipment is magnificent, and the lack of energy is pressing. From the opponent's body, he saw the shadow of himself when he was young. Xiao Qish stood up, took out a notebook in his hand, and said respectfully and forcefully, "My minister has a piece of good advice to offer, and I beg the monarch and minister to make it right." Monarchs play right. Ming Xuanwang was slightly startled. His loving expression was put away, and he became extremely serious. Che, you are sure that the monarch and his ministers are right? If you have no good advice that benefits the country and the people, you should report it normally. Quote, what is the right relationship between the monarch and the ministers? That is, every sentence of dialogue between the monarch and the ministers will be recorded on the book. In the future, it will be included in the history books as a supporting evidence of the emperor's governance of the country. Every sentence must be every word, and it must benefit the country and the people. Because the history books of the Ming dynasty cannot record some nonsense. If it is passed down to future generations like that, it will not be laughed at. Xiao Qish, however, had a serious expression on his face, nodded heavily, and his gaze was firm. The monarch and his ministers are right, and only important ministers enjoy the rights, such as Wei Yan, who ranks among the 3 princes. But this 13th prince, with Qianlong fate, is also a prince. Naturally have this treatment. Ming Xuanwang took a deep look at Xiao Qish, and the depths of his eyes couldn't help showing anticipation. It seems that my son is becoming more and more promising. Come here, Xuanzhang Shusharan. Not long after, Zhang Shusharan arrived in a hurry with a pen and paper. After seeing the ceremony, I consciously sat not far from Ming Xuanwang and the official king. Spread the paper calmly on a low table, grind the ink, and wait quietly with the pen in hand. This is a very formal scene where the monarch and his subjects play against each other. From this moment on, every word said by this pair of monarchs and ministers, this pair of father and son, will be recorded. One word was missed, that is, Zongshu Sharon's work is not good, so he will be cut off. At this moment, Xiao Qish straightened his clothes and sat up, with a solemn expression. Emperor Zan of the Ming dynasty also took out the imposing manner of the emperor of the 95 years of the Ming dynasty, with a serious face, and said in a deep voice, "What good plan does King Qi have? You can offer it now, I am all ears." Xiao Qish took a deep breath, pondered for a moment, and prepared to speak. And then sonorously said, "Your Majesty, my great Ming dynasty has been founded by martial arts since the Taizu. For the sake of King Ming officials, and for the peace of the country and the people of the world, we have established 2 organizations to kill demons and eliminate demons, the Demon Slayer and the Immortals. The former kills demons, the latter exorcises ghosts, sweeping the world's demons, the merits of the community, but my son thinks that this is not enough, it's just treating the symptoms and not the root cause." Emperor Ming Zan's eyes flashed with surprise, and said, "What does King Qi think?" "My son thinks that in the whole world, is it the king's land leading the land? Could it be the king's ministers, even demons and ghosts, are the creatures of the world, and they are also a part of my Ming dynasty. They shouldn't be driven to extermination. If you force dogs into poor alleys, they will be backlashed. Nowadays, all demons and ghosts who are in trouble, as long as they are wanted, they will enter Tianxing Mountain and escape from the law, so that they will have nothing to fear. My son's humble opinion, the imperial court should broaden its grace, so that the world's demons and ghosts will stop thinking about disasters, and all those who accumulate virtue and do good deeds, the imperial court will confer immortals and let them have the right to enjoy the incense of mortals. In this way, the first thing that the world's demons think one thing is not to bring disaster to the people, but to accumulate virtue and do good. Therefore, my son believes that our Ming dynasty should set up another department. This department is not for killing demons, but only for the sake of grace, subduing potential ghosts, and making them become the contribution of the Ming dynasty. Not to slay demons, but to subdue them. This way of thinking is not a new way, because the imperial court has long had examples of conferring immortals. It's just that there are very few such examples. Only monsters with great cultivation and great merit will be considered by the imperial court. After hundreds of years, there are very few. What King Qi meant was that he canonize wantonly. As long as you do good deeds and accumulate virtue, the imperial court will give you the right to enjoy the incense of ordinary people. Coexist with the human race. Ming Xuanwang's expression moved slightly, weighing the pros and cons in his heart. It is not a trivial matter to set up another department. The Zongshu Sharon on the side wrote a long essay, recording every word of King Qi. Meticulous. Your Majesty, take the newly promoted Yinglong in Wolongtan as an example. Why did he reject His Majesty's canonization? He was attacked by the Demon Slayer's Thunderbolt method. It's fine to kill, but you can kill without dying. It is to force the other party to cause chaos and force the other party to rebel against the court. Fortunately, that Yinglong didn't really hate me, Daming, otherwise Yinglong's wrath. Enough to shake the country. Just imagine, if there is such an organization that recruits the newly promoted Snake King when he succeeds in cultivation, and builds a temple for him at the foot of the mountain, the other party will be grateful to my Daming, then now, Yinglong is my Daming, it's time for the dragon. Yinglong is my Daming's Yinglong. These words successfully hit Ming Xuanwang's heart. Yeah, that dragon refused to be canonized before. It's a long time ago that he had a grievance with the Demon Slayer. If there is no grievance, I am afraid I will not refuse. Ming Xuanwang's eyes lit up. King Qi said very well, killing is worse than accepting. My Ming dynasty should have a broad mind and accept all things. Only in this way can we stand tall. Blindly killing will only intensify conflicts. It is indeed necessary to set up another division. Then the candidate for the division chief, is King Qi confident that he can be competent? However, Xiao Qish shook his head. I have shallow virtue, how can I be qualified for such an important task, but I have someone to recommend. Oh, let's hear it. The Demon King of the Tianxing Mountains, the Peacock King, the other party has long had the heart of submitting to the imperial court, and also practiced Buddhist skills, and has the heart of helping the world. It is, most suitable, to be the helm of the new company. When Ming Xuanwang heard the words, he suddenly thought of something. When Yinglong was born, there was a big peacock who made a move. Is it what King Qi was referring to? That's right, the Peacock King has 200,000 years of Taoism, practiced the great compassion mantra of Buddhism, and practiced both the Buddha and the demon. It is commendable. Letting him be the new secretary also shows the court's determination to accept the world's demons and ghosts. Ming Xuanwang nodded, and it was indeed a good choice for the Shenshen Demon King of Tianxing Mountain to be the new secretary. Only, there was still some hesitation in the emperor's eyes. Xiao Qish caught it and took advantage of the victory to pursue him. Your Majesty, there is no one in the world who is more suitable as the new secretary than the Deep Mountain Demon King of Tianxing Mountain. Besides, the other party is still practicing the great compassion mantra of Buddhism, so he will definitely not cast it. Problem, my son guarantees. Is there anything more suitable than the Peacock King? Not necessarily. However, Yinglong's domineering majesty appeared in Ming Xuanwang's mind, and Yinglong with 5 claws was the most suitable. Unfortunately, this is just the emperor's wishful thinking. The other party refused even the canonization decree, let alone let him be the helm of the new company. Where is the Peacock King now? Let him come to see me. Xiao Qish was overjoyed. It's just outside the palace city, just waiting for His Majesty to summon you. Zan, the eunuch on duty, made a sharp voice. Your Majesty has a decree to announce the audience of the Peacock King. This voice contains profound inner strength, and the entire imperial palace can hear it. Many guards with knives were shocked when they heard this. Zan Peacock King, the one from Tianxing Mountain. After a while, each of them lifted their spirits to 120,000 points. Full alert. Outside the palace city, a tall and straight figure loomed. It was the Peacock King, who yelled at Yinglong and flew down the mountain. The sound of summoning made the Peacock King look serious, and walked slowly towards the palace city. In fact, there is still a long distance between the outside of the palace city and the imperial study room in the inner palace. But the big monsters like the Peacock King, if they use their body skills, they will be there in the blink of an eye. But if it takes one step at a time, at least half an hour. Of course, the palace is forbidden to fly, a privilege. Otherwise, even an important minister like Wei Yan would have to walk in slowly. Peacock King understands this rule. Meticulously advancing slowly, the guards with knives are at war with their swords along the way. Since it stepped into the palace city, there are countless pairs of eyes staring at it. A slight movement can lead to riots. And after the voice of the imperial eunuch Xuanzhao ended, another eunuch on duty took a ghost record and recorded it. It records the resume of the world's monsters. Your life history and the facts of your crimes are all recorded on it more clearly than you. The Peacock King's resume was revealed little by little from the mouth of the eunuch. It starts with a peacock with its tail open in an ancient temple, and finally listens to the Dharma to become a master. In the end, he stole the great compassion mantra, a Buddhist technique, and killed a large number of monks to escape from heaven. Every period until becoming the Demon King of the Deep Mountains and the Peacock King. It's all clearly recorded for you. The resumes of ordinary little monsters are still a bit vague, but all big monsters, especially the Deep Mountain Demon King. The imperial court attaches great importance to it. Ming Xuanwang closed his eyes and listened, and when he heard that the Peacock King had stolen the great compassion mantra and killed a large number of monks, he couldn't help frowning. Enmity with Buddhism. Raised by monks, after becoming refined, he deviated from the scriptures. Stealing the great compassion mantra, killing monks, such a resume, how can he be qualified to be the helm of the new company? King Qi should choose someone else. If I agree, I am afraid that Buddhism will not agree either. The Buddhist forces had a pivotal position in the Ming dynasty. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the Peacock King is a traitor to Buddhism. Xiao Qish seemed to have thought of such an accident a long time ago, and said calmly, Father, although the Peacock King has murdered evil, since he became the Deep Mountain Demon King of Tianxing Mountain, he has devoted himself to practicing the great compassion mantra, so that he knows himself the crime is serious, so I want to atone for it, and do something within my ability for my Ming dynasty and the world's creatures. The other party has the determination to return to the shore and is dedicated to the sun. How can I, the Ming dynasty, refuse to let me in? Ming Xuanwang laughed. King Qi said very well, there is a saying that the prodigal son will not change his money when he turns back, but I can't chill the heart of Buddhism. Father, the Buddha said, put down the butcher knife and become a Buddha immediately. As soon as these words came out, Ming Xuanwang's brows suddenly relaxed. Looking at Xiao Qish's eyes, he was full of relief. Just this one sentence can kill Buddhist mouthers to death. At this time, the eunuch on duty said, "Your Majesty, the Peacock King has arrived outside the imperial study." Emperor Ming Zan said lightly, "Zan." Then, outside the door, a tall and straight man walked in slowly. Ming Xuanwang looked around. The opponent is a few feet tall, with a hooked nose and a pointed chin, although he is humanoid. But behind it grows a pair of colorful wings. The feathers are all over the body, shining with a faint Buddha light. It can't help but make the heart peaceful and quiet. With just one glance, Ming Xuanwang's eyes flashed with surprise. As the famous demon king of the deep mountain in Tianxing Mountain, but there is no trace of monster aura in his whole body. Only the light of Buddha is looming. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a Buddha bird. The Peacock King walked in. Without even raising his head, he knelt on the ground respectfully, and said in a voice full of awe, "Kongwang, the sinful monster, has seen me face the Emperor Mingshuan Emperor. May your Majesty live in good health and live longer than heaven." The name Kongwang was created by itself. All the birds in the world have the heart of a nirvana phoenix. Stay flat. The Peacock King stood up when he heard the words, but bowed half of his body and lowered his head, showing extreme respect. This humble gesture relieved most of Ming Xuanwang's worries. You know, all monsters are rebellious and wild. And the Peacock King, as the deep mountain demon king of Tianxing Mountain, can do this step under his prestigious reputation. Already very commendable. It means that the other party really wants to submit to the imperial court. Kong Huang, King Qi offered a good plan and asked me to set up another department and recommend you to be the helmsman, but I have a little concern in my heart. Can you explain it for me? Ming Xuanwang's voice at this time was full of the majesty of the emperor. It is unbearably frightening. The Peacock King still didn't raise his head, but he understood the meaning behind what the emperor said. It is not impossible to let you be the helm of the new company, but you have to present a certificate of approval. If you don't vote for a certificate, how can you believe that you are sincerely submitting to the imperial court? Besides, he is still at the helm of the new company. Bit height wait. In fact, the Peacock King also knew in his heart that he wanted to show his loyalty, not by saying a few beautiful words. You can get away with it. At this time, the Peacock King lowered his head, opened his mouth, and spat out a drop of extremely pure blood that contained exuberant qi and blood. As soon as the essence and blood came out, the entire imperial study room was filled with red light. The sinful demon offered his life essence and blood. From now on, life and death will depend on His Majesty's thought. Seeing the blood essence floating in front of his eyes, Ming Xuanwang couldn't hide his shock. This is the first time he has seen the essence and blood of the demon king of the deep mountains. Whoever masters this drop of blood essence is equivalent to choking the life of the Peacock King. Let it go east, it will never dare to go west. Unless the other party doesn't want to live anymore. Xiao Qish stood up and said in agreement, "Father, if Kong Huang can offer his life essence and blood, his determination and loyalty can be seen by the sun and the moon, so there is no doubt about it." "Ah, very good." Emperor Mingshuan nodded, but with a big wave of his hand, he sent the drop of life floating in front of him to the Peacock King. "Kong Huang's loyalty, I feel the same. King Qi believes in you, and I believe in you too. Wushu's drop of blood is here to guarantee it. Take it back." The Peacock King trembled all over, deeply feeling the majestic spirit of the emperor of the Ming dynasty. It is said that this year's emperor of the Ming dynasty is wise and mighty, and he is most like the founder of the country. At this moment, the Peacock King had a deep understanding. Immediately, he knelt down again excitedly, kowtowed 3 times, and said, "The sinful monster has won His Majesty's trust, and it will be for me, Da Ming, to do my best and die." Xiao Qish couldn't help showing a trace of excitement in his eyes. It's a big deal. Before, he originally wanted the Peacock King to subdue the real dragon in Wolongtan. But Zenlong was promoted to Yinglong when he disagreed with him, so he had no choice but to give up his heart. The Peacock King responded to the dragon, and he also had the attitude of giving it a try. At the same time, it is also to show one's own strength in front of the world. Retiring Yinglonghu with a loud roar is enough for the world to witness his strength as the Peacock King. Therefore, he went straight down the mountain and went to join Xiao Qish. Because it can no longer do anything in Tianxing Mountain, the little rabbit king from the demon spirit realm suppressed it. Then came the five-clawed dragon. Rather than this, it is better to go down the mountain. Xiaoqish bears the fate of Qianlong, and is destined to be a man who is destined to embark on the road to heaven. One person and one demon, they have already hooked up. Xiaoqish knew very well in his heart that if he wanted to defeat Prince Donggong, he must have an extremely powerful force in his hand. The entire imperial court has 2 divisions and 6 ministries. The 6 departments are the Ministry of War, the Ministry of Officials, the Ministry of Rights, the Ministry of War, the Ministry of Punishment, and the Ministry of Industry. He and the prince each mastered 3. The 2 divisions higher than the 6 divisions are the division of demon slaying and the division of worshipping immortals. Whoever gets the support of these 2 divisions, the road to the sky can be said to be more than half successful. It's a pity that these 2 divisions never participated in the party and government, and did not participate in the seizure of the air. No one wants to twist their fingers. The Peacock King's refuge gave Xiaoqish the idea of having the imperial court set up another division. Once the new division is established, his power in the court will surpass that of the crown prince. In addition, Xinxi subdues potential ghosts in the world, and these ghosts will all obey him in the future. Thinking of the benefits of the new company, Xiaoqish couldn't help but want to laugh out of excitement. The prince is a fart, sooner or later he will be trampled under his feet. It's just luck that he became the first prince. How to compare with him? He is a man who bears the fate of Qianlong. Please father the emperor to name the new company. Xiaoqish suppressed the excitement in his heart, and offered a suggestion. Ming Xuanwang was intoxicated by his favorite son, and he also thought it would be good to set up another one. Moreover, the first 2 divisions were set up by the founding ancestor Tezu. Now I also set up a company, not to mention the achievements comparable to Tezu. At least it will be remembered by the world. Haha, come here, I will serve you with pen and ink. Ming Xuanwang was suddenly full of pride. The eunuch on duty quickly spread the book paper on an imperial desk, and respectfully handed the ink-stained imperial pen to Ming Xuanwang. Ming Xuanwang took over the pen, and wrote 2 ministers on the toilet paper in a fluttering manner. After reading it, he glanced at it and nodded, obviously satisfied. The eunuch on duty understood, picked up the paper, and showed it to the queen and Kong Huang. Xiaoqish looked at it, his heart was shaken, and he murmured, "Guard the spirit. Father is good, protect the spirit, protect the world's creatures, what a spirit protector." Ming Huang shook his head and corrected, "It's the guardian of the spirit." As he was writing, he changed his mind. The founder Tezu set up 2 divisions, and he set up a 3rd division, which doesn't make much sense. An ambitious man who can do meaningless things. Xiaoqish's eyes lit up, and his heart was even more agitated. Guard, 1 guard, 2 divisions and 6 departments. Does the emperor mean this? If the guardian spirit guard can overwhelm the demon slayer and the immortal priest, wouldn't it be powerful? Such a powerful department is controlled by his ministers. Is the hidden meaning of the father encouraging me to move forward? You must know that this kind of department is either in the hands of the emperor, or it is in the hands of the prince of the East Palace. There is absolutely no third option. Xiaoqish felt like he was going to be knocked out by happiness. Kong Wang received the decree. At this time, Ming Xuanwang's expression became serious. The Peacock King was shocked, and quickly knelt down. "I now enshrine you as the chief master of the guardian of the spirit. I hope you will live up to my trust, make contributions to our Ming dynasty, and protect all living beings in the world." The Peacock King prostrated himself on the ground, and replied in awe, "Sinful monster, no, I will definitely do my best and live up to the grace of God." With one kneeling, one received the order. Within half a day, the whole world was shaken by it. The imperial court set up spirit guards, and there was no warning before, so why did the sun rise suddenly? No one thought of it. From this, you can also see how much Emperor Mingxuan loves His Royal Highness King Qi. Just a few words about his red lips and white teeth. The entire imperial court and the entire world have suddenly changed. The establishment of the Guardian Spirit Guard had a very profound impact on the Ming dynasty. But as to whether this effect is good or bad, then it's up to you. See you. But for many people, the appearance of this spirit guard is particularly fatal. Especially for the two central organizations of Demon Killing Division and Gongxian Division, their power was almost indirectly weakened. You must know that the responsibility of these two divisions is to slay demons and demons. Guardian of the Spirit, the word protection has several meanings. At that time, when encountering the ghosts that the two divisions want to kill, the spirit guards will come forward to protect and accept them. Who will listen to whom? The two are incompatible. It's even a bit contradictory. Wei Yan, who had just left Miyagi and returned to the headquarters of Monster Slayer, was in a good mood. Because since the new Snake King appeared in Tianxing Mountain, it has risen rapidly, and it has been walking and ascending to the gate of heaven. A series of things made Wei Yan very worried. Now, through his own strategy and operation, he has perfectly solved the Yinglong incident that was born. You don't need to be surprised and have a headache in the future. Next, you can live a few days of comfortable life. However, he had just returned to the bedroom, ready to lie on the soft couch and receive a massage from the Fox Beauty's little hands. But a guard rushed in a hurry, bowed his head and said a few words. After just a few words, Wei Yan's face changed drastically. I can't even believe it. Really, it was reported by the eunuch on duty that the matter is almost certain, and it will be announced in the near future, and the whole world will be announced. Guardian, protect the world's demons and ghosts, subdue them and use them. Wei Yan's face suddenly darkened. Could it be that His Majesty no longer trusts him? For such a big matter, the court will set up another agency. Since it is decided, it will be settled. Hasty is the same as playing house. He and Chang Huang were not consulted at all. This is very unreasonable. The birth of Yinglong, but he did not submit to the imperial court, probably made Ming Xuanwang feel uncomfortable to some extent. It feels like a huge fortune is being missed. Wei Yan is clear about this. Even if he made an oath with Yinglong, it was not an oath of submission after all. It is a pledge of non-aggression. Emperor Xuanwang of the Ming dynasty now established the Guardian of the Spirit, to a large extent, because of the stimulation of the Yinglong incident. The demon slayer only catches and kills. This knife is so sharp that he hurt himself. No, the spirit guards cannot appear, otherwise the world will be in chaos. As soon as Wei Yan came back, he immediately went back towards the Forbidden City. Before he announced it to the world, he wanted to enter the palace to stop it. Unexpectedly, on the way, Wei Yan met the city god who also returned. These two directors have been a little diligent when they met recently. They are almost becoming friends of foxes and dogs. The two looked at each other, knowing what the other wanted to do. For Lord Chengwang, the appearance of this spirit guard is a blow to Gong Shanxi. You will wantonly seal the world's demons and ghosts as demon spirits, fairy spirits, and enjoy the incense of mortals. So what about the ghosts and gods for Shanxi? There was only one piece of cake, and I couldn't even eat it myself. Now there are so many more people to share. If they can't share, they will rob each other. It turns out that the Ming dynasty had very strict control over mortal incense. If ghosts want to eat incense, they violate the laws of the Ming dynasty and will not be pardoned immediately. Now, with the birth of guardian spirits, it is legal for ghosts to eat incense. The end result is a mess. Moreover, by legalizing a large number of demons and ghosts, they will definitely become mixed with humans and demons in the future. You must know that demons have their own ways, and humans have their ways. Although not all monsters are evil, but monsters will erode people. Long-term contact with the monster race will cause physical and psychological distortions subtly. Not only monster chi, but also ghost chi, devil chi, and evil chi have similar hazards. The meaning of protecting the world's living beings is very good. But some ghosts are inherently evil. Especially ghosts, which are originally formed by resentment and cynicism. Do you still want to protect them? If you still want it to do good deeds and accumulate virtue, it's fine if it doesn't disgust you. King Qi wants to ascend to heaven. We shouldn't care about it, but we can't affect the order of the world because of it. Chengwang finally said indignantly. For his own rights, he came up with such a bad idea. The most speechless thing was that Ming Xuanwang agreed. Wei Yan also complained. This King Qi is too ambitious. He hooked up with the Peacock King of Tianxing Mountain, and coaxed His Majesty to set up a new organization as soon as he sang together. It's absurd. This matter is no small matter. If it is not handled well, it will be more terrible than Yinglong's disaster. Everything can't be too beautiful, too fairy tale. What King Qi said, subduing the world's ghosts and letting them contribute to the court, is full of fairy tale color. But Wei Yan and Cheng Huang could tell at a glance that the other party just wanted to strengthen their own power, so as to compete with Donggong. And here things are very complicated. Immediately, the two directors' impressions of Ziwang plummeted. Fate of Qianlong. If you're not a prince, you shouldn't have such a fate. Otherwise, it is harming others and oneself. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.